Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast, the audio version of our Facebook Live series, Art Talk Tuesday. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and I am so excited that you're here to catch the weekly replay of my laid-back yet very inspiring conversations with other full-time professional artists. The purpose of this series is to show aspiring artists like you that it is completely possible to make a great career out of this art thing. And if you ever want to join us live and have your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just hop over to facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll see you there. This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time art business. I've been a professional artist for over 5 years with paintings in several different countries and a client list that includes high-profile companies such as Bass Pro, O'Reilly's, Duck Commander, and many, many more. So I figured out what it takes to build an art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. Go to advancedmember.com, that's advancedmember.com to learn more. Good afternoon or morning or evening or whenever you're listening to this. I wanted to sit down really quick and record basically a sequel to last week's solo episode and just talk a little bit about residual income systems in your business. So last week we talked about 3-tiered pricing and how that bottom level I set up a $7 print of the month club, and that's a really good residual income source for me. And so it was a little off topic to kind of start rambling about residual income and how that can be amazing and how to set it up. So I wanted to record a whole new podcast episode about it. If you have the time and want to go to last week's episode, we talk about 3-tier pricing, which is super informative. If you do not have 3-tier pricing in your business, I highly recommend it. If you don't know what that is, go check out the last solo episode last week to see if that's something that's right for your business. But this week, we're going to talk about residual income. So I love this term. And so it's not far out of my comfort zone to record something that's all about residual income. But first, I just want to explain a little bit about what residual income is. And that just means you're not trading time for dollars. That's kind of how I think of it. A lot of financial terms, it's like it's excess money, blah, blah, blah. But I basically use the term as you're not trading time for dollars. It's something you could set up that doesn't take a ton of time, but brings in considerable profits, basically. So, but what I want to also say on this is, notice I said it doesn't take a ton of time. However, setting something up like this will take a lot of time initially. I think it's just part of working smarter, not harder, which I am all about, especially with today. We have the internet to connect everyone and sell on and everything. There's so many ways to work smarter and not harder, and I don't think we have to trade our time for dollars anymore. We are not working in factories anymore. There are so many things we could do, and so many people out there ready and willing to support your art business because they genuinely like your art. So yeah, okay. I just want to debunk the myth of residual income though. So it is going to take some time to set it up. It will get easier as it goes on. So like with the Artist Academy, I spent a ton of time on it this year with not a whole lot of payout. However, I do believe that now I have the website up. Now that I have, people in it and learning and gaining from it, I think it will get a lot easier. That way, I can profit from it a bit more, because right now, the time I'm putting into the Artist Academy, I'm not really getting a ton of income out of it. I'm getting a lot of fulfillment out of it by teaching everybody, but I think it'll eventually even out, so I can actually replace a little bit of my painting time with teaching time. Okay, that's one kind of example, but that's not really the kind I'm going to talk to you about. I'm going to talk to you about ones that you can implement into your business, because most of you aren't wanting to be educators like me. Most of you don't love to talk about our business all day like I do. I love it so much, which is why I'm teaching it. But I wanted to debunk the myth of residual income being the thing that you set up and then you can just go sip a fruity drink on an island, because I think that's what a lot of people think of it as. And honestly, that's what I was starting to think of it as in the beginning, before I knew better. And so I'm so sorry to burst your bubble, but very few people have that to where they set something up and it's a machine and it prints out money and it just does the transactions for you, and you had to do little work in the beginning. That's just not a thing. And a lot of people who see residual income, they're like, yep, I want that, but they don't want to work super hard for it in the beginning. And I think just the idea of residual income, it's not trading your time for dollars, but it is trading your time for, like, you have to put some kind of work into it, especially up front. And I think the longer you do it, the less time you have to trade for dollars. And it's just a win-win. On my goal sheet, I do a goal sheet. We did one at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and we do one every January 1st, and everything on there is how can I put more ways of getting residual income into my business, rather than show up, paint, get time for hours that I spend on a job. I want to be able to add more streams of income into my business, and I want to show you a couple ways that I've been doing it. Okay. So enough about you know what it is, and the myth is debunked that, sorry, you cannot go to an island and sip Mai Tais and make money. That's not a thing. We have to put actual work into it. So first off, I'm going to go over the residual income systems that I know, the ones that I have personally used and highly recommend. And at the heart of this topic today is, drumroll please, prints. I cannot talk enough about what prints can do to your business, and I actually have talked about it in a previous episode, but it is the perfect way to make an original piece stretch so much further. Like I said, I have already recorded a full podcast episode all about how you can go about taking photos of your art and turning it into a reproduction and sell it. You could find that episode at episode 31. I think the title is How to Create and Sell Prints, so super to the point. And yeah, it just basically gives you an overview of what a print is, how you can go about creating it. It's just a general overview in about 30 minutes. That really just gives you a ton of information packed into one. If you want more than just that 30-minute episode, I would highly suggest go checking it out. If you want more, it is in your Artist Academy membership site. So if you are a student of mine, there is a 2+ hour course in your Artist Academy membership site. So if you are one of my students already, it's in your course vault. Just search Print Perfect, and it will walk you through step by step how to create prints for your art business. That Print Perfect course, it takes the mindless searching and headaches out of the printing process, since I simplify it down and steer you down the path of printable profits. I literally show you how I package my prints. I show you how to price them, where to get them, literally everything. But if you are not in the Artist Academy Advanced membership yet, I say yet, we're opening the doors on January 1st. It is currently closed, but we're opening on January 1st. But if you're not in there, just go over to episode 31 and check out the podcast episode that I made for you. It is amazing and packed full of everything. So the main one that I want to talk about today segues from the last episode of 3-tiered pricing, like I mentioned, and it has to do with prints, like in episode 31 that I've already talked about. And I'm referring to my $7 a month print club. I actually made a whole video to go over this process to show you exactly how I do this and how painless and profitable it is. I will link to that video here in the notes, and that way you can go and you can physically see what my prints look like, how I ship them out, how I stamp them, literally everything. So yeah, but basically I'm going to tell you about it here on this podcast episode. I think it could be an amazing resource if you want to implement a residual income source in your business. Basically, these $7 prints are my hot item this year. A customer will sign up for a print of the month club, and every month on the same day, I'll automatically charge their card through my website. So my website is set up for my Artist Academy website. That's the one that I use. It's a special system. However, if you have your own website, like on WordPress or wherever, you can set that up. If you're on Shopify, you can set that up on Shopify, mostly through Stripe. So if you have your own website, figure out a way to implement Stripe into your process in there. It's super easy. Just Google it, honestly. I can't tell you every website and every plugin there is, so I will just say Stripe will integrate into your website and you can take recurring payments that way. So every month around the first of the month, I'll send out these 6x9-inch prints to everyone. So it automatically takes their payment. The first time they sign up is the only time I actually, I don't even take the payment. My website does the whole thing for me. So Residual, very hands off. So it signs them up for a print of the month. They're very well aware that they are getting charged every single month. I make sure that is very known. You do not want a customer coming at you and being like, I didn't know I was signing up for this, blah, blah, blah. That has never happened, luckily. But just make it very known that it is a monthly thing if that's what you have it at. So every month around the first of the month, I'll send out these 6x9 prints. My virtual assistant Adriana collects everyone's email from that system. It collects their their address and their name, and she puts it into a Word document so that all I have to do is print that Word document onto a shipping label sheet. So I figured out a way to be very hands off with this, and she is amazing at doing this because Ryan, my fiance, tried to do this for me for the first couple times, and it was hilarious. He wanted to just throw his computer. I don't say that to scare you. Once you figure it out, you figure it out, but Adriana has figured it out, and I'm so thankful that I do not have to do this part of it. If you're good with Microsoft Word, it's super easy to do. Just Google it. And yeah, it's super easy. Anyway, so she sends me this Word document with everybody's address and name. Then I sit down with my fiance, Ryan, and we take that Word document and we print it on a shipping label sheet. So it just has, this shipping label sheet has a bunch of stickers on it. Basically, it prints on the sticker. You take the sticker off and you put it onto your envelope. I will have links to everything that I use in this in the notes section of this podcast. I use, everything that I use. It will be right there. So that way you can just go find it, click it, buy it. It's a proven system. This is exactly what I use, and I let you guys know everything. I'm an open book. So then I sit down with my fiance Ryan after we've got all that printed, and I sign all of the prints, all the 6x9 prints. I hand sign, which is a lot. Right now I actually have less than 100 people signed up, but I can't even imagine what it's going to be like after I have over 100. It's it takes a second, but it's worth it. And I put them, so we sign them, and then we put them into an envelope, a 6x9 envelope. And we put the shipping label on them and we stamp them. We have a stamp on there as well. And then we seal the envelope, and that's it. And when we're doing this, it's kind of funny. So we both sit down and we've got it down to a system. And so I sign, he stuffs, and then we both put the stickers on, and then the very last is we seal it. And we do that with a sponge, and it's just, last time we did it, it took under an hour, well under an hour. And yeah, I'm just so lucky I have him to help me do that because he is extremely efficient. So like we'll be doing it while we're watching TV or something. We'll just be doing it, and because this is kind of a mindless task. You just like you're stuffing envelopes and you're stamping, and so you can do it while you watch TV. It's not that bad. And so I'm making a couple $100 for this 1 hour that I'm spending. And to me, that is just amazing you are spending an hour doing it. You're trading time for dollars, but it doesn't take that much more effort to add people to this system. So I just want to break down the pricing. Like I said, all of these items are listed in the notes, so that way you can just click and go buy whatever you want. But yeah, let's break down the pricing system. I order postcards. They're like a postcard style print, so they're not like overly high quality, but they look really good. So I actually order postcards from the local printer, 417 Print Shop, and I ordered it at the beginning of the year in bulk. Buying everything in bulk with prints like this is the key to saving money long term. It does cost a bit up front, but just know like you will make money eventually with it. And that could even be like on month 2, if you have several subscribers. But one of the things with becoming an entrepreneur, I read a quote the other day, and it was like the mind shift that separates the entrepreneur from the 9-to-5 worker is the ability to see long distance, basically. So to see with longevity in your business. So with this is a great example. I spent about $200 on prints from 417 Print Shop. I got 1,000 prints printed for $200. Crazy cheap. So about 20 cents per print. I actually got 10 different images printed, which was 100 prints per image equals 1,000 prints. And really, I should have only printed 50 of each image, especially to start out, because I didn't have over 50 to start out with, for several months. And so, yeah, so now I have a bunch of prints left over, but anyway, I use them. I'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, really, I should have done 50 prints per image and given them 20 images. But yeah, live and learn. So yeah, the prints are $200 for 1,000 of them at 417printshop.com. And then I get envelopes off of Amazon, and these are $34 for 500 envelopes. So again, just a one-time purchase for the whole year almost. Well, I think I had to buy a couple of these, but for you, if you're just starting out, it's a one-time purchase. It lasts for 500 mailings. It's a ton. Also, labels. So those labels that you print out your address list on, it's super, super easy. Adriana sends over the Word document. I print that Word document on this label sheet, and I think there are like 30 labels on one sheet, and they print out, and you can just stick them on the envelope. So easy. Again, I linked it in the notes for this, and the labels are $20 for 3,000 labels, so that'll last a while, eh? But yeah, so yeah, a lot of upfront costs, but it does even out. So I mean, $20 for 3,000 labels, that's like less than a cent per label, so that's less than a cent per customer. Which, if you think of it like that, less than a cent per customer. And $34 for 500 envelopes. What is that, like a penny per customer? I don't know. I don't even know. Okay. And then stamps. So I actually order my stamps from USPS.com, and I get about 100 each time. So that way I, again, just buy in bulk, and they ship it right to you. It's $1 for shipping, so you don't actually have to go to the post office. They will just ship it right to you. And yeah, if you've paid attention in this, the most costly thing in this is the stamp. Which is crazy. The stamp costs more than my print. But yeah, the stamp is the most costly thing. And yeah, so I actually recently just got a manual address stamp. So for my address, my return address, I got this stamp. It was $15 on Amazon. I literally just got it. I haven't even got a chance to use it yet. But because we were just printing the return address onto the the envelope, that was just kind of a hassle. So I just got a manual stamp, and you like stamp, like I'm trying to do the stamp like noise. It's like, yeah. So you just stamp it on your envelope of your return address, and that was $15. And so yeah. So in total, that is less than $1 per print at my cost. So with the 50-cent stamp, the 20-cent print, and then the other stuff is just a couple cents after it all evens out. And so it's a little bit less than $20 per cost per customer per transaction. Or sorry, a little less than $1 per cost per print per customer per transaction. Yeah, which is pretty dang good, you know? So it only cost me $1 to send these out, and people are paying $7. That's pretty good, and it only takes me an hour to do this. I mean, do the math on that. So one thing I want to caution you, so I started this out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a good idea. I'm so excited. I just wanted to get it out. And it wasn't really going to be a money maker for me. I really wanted it to be just kind of an awareness thing. It was going to be like I would send these out all the time, and it would remind people I'm there, and people would love to get something in the mail as opposed to an email, you know, and they would buy more from me. That was the plan, because I'm always thinking like way ahead. So I offered them at first for $3. With the intent on raising it. So I offered it for anybody who signed up. It's $3 each time, and a lot of people signed up. And it was a lot. It was like 20 people signed up for the $3 thing, and I kind of regret doing that. I should have just started at $5. So if you want to start out at a lower price to get people to buy now, because the price will raise, which is actually what I do all the time. The prices on my stuff raises all the time. So people who get in early, people who like get into anything of mine early, are always paying lower. Like right now, the Artist Academy costs in the 20s, and it will eventually cost in the 30s, and then it'll probably eventually cost in the 40s. But the people who get in it with the 20s, I think, so I started out the Artist Academy at $22 a month, and now it's at $27 currently, and next year it'll be in the 30s. What it'll be exactly, I don't know. But as I'm putting more in it, it's becoming worth more, and I'm raising the price, especially as I become a better teacher and people are getting results and all of that, so I raise the price. This is similar to this. So when I first started out, it was $3 a month. I hadn't even bought envelopes yet. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, hey, anybody who wants these, I'm testing out this method. Anybody who wants this for $3 a month, their reward is getting it cheaper than everybody else is going to get it. Because they're testing it out, they haven't even seen the prints yet. They're going out on a limb for me. And yeah, I was just like, this is great. I just don't know what I'm doing. I just need validation that people are going to actually buy. So people started at $3 a month, and people are still paying $3 a month. Whoever signed up for that is still paying $3 a month. And then the next month, I bumped it up to $5 a month, and several people joined then. I think maybe like 10 more people joined. And so they are constantly paying $5 a month. And then recently, I have knocked it up to $7 a month. That way I feel like I'm really getting enough out of it to be doing the transaction at all. You know, I feel like I'm really getting a profit out of it at $7 a month. So that's probably going to stay there for a while until I want to raise it, really. Because who can say no to $7? It's below $10. Who can say no to that? Nobody. So, but really, if you're starting it out, I would start it out at $5 at least. Because $3, I'm making $2 per customer on that still, but that's just not very much, you know. So yeah, I don't recommend starting at $3. I also throw, so like these prints, since I have so many of them, and I have a lot that I don't really intend on sending out in the mail anymore, like that month is already gone. So yeah, I send out the same photo, the same painting every month. So everybody will get the Highland cow, everybody will get the rainbow zebra, everybody will get the rainbow lion that month. So every month is a is basically like a set month. They don't get to choose, which made it super easy for me to pre-order in advance. But that's also where that low tier comes in. It's like you're getting a print, but you don't get to choose what it is. It's like it's affordable to the point of I know they're gonna like it, but they don't get to choose or be picky about it. That's why it's such a low price. I get to choose, and that's what I really like. So yeah, I use some of these leftover prints that I don't use, and I'll take them to the First Friday Art Walk. So we have like an art gathering thing downtown, and I will take them there, and they sell like hotcakes. That is the thing that sells. Like Missouri is just not a big artsy place, or Springfield, Missouri is not. If you go to Kansas City or St. Louis, they are more apt to buy art. People here, lower budgets, cost of living is super low, so like me, anything that's below $7, or sorry, below 10 or 20 bucks, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. But anything $100 or above, I'm like, no, it stresses me out to pay that, like I mentioned in the 3-tier pricing podcast episode. So yeah, $7 a month is something that almost anybody could buy if they really like your art. It's hard to say no to that, even though people still do. But I offer those at events, and they sell really, really well. So if you're going to an art fair or anything, I highly, highly suggest you doing these small prints, or offering people to get on your $7 a print club or whatever it is. So yeah, okay. I also send these out to my previous customers as a thank you and to keep that relationship warm, so they're likely to buy from me again. And some do. Since the cost is only about $1 to me, I don't mind sending out these to my past customers. So sometimes when my past customers, if they spent a couple $100s with me or more, I'll just send these out when I send out everybody else's, just to be like, hey, thank you for your business. Thank you for investing in me this year. This is just an added extra bonus for you. And they love it. Like they'll send me like, thank you so much for the print. We love it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes, I know. Buy from me again. And it does help warm those customers up, because I just did a big birthday discount, and I actually planned it way in advance and printed out the birthday discount on the month, like on the back of the card. I put out, hey, I'm having my birthday discount of 30% off this month on the postcard or on the print, and I sent it out a couple days before, or a couple weeks before I did the discount, and people bought, which is crazy, because I was actually really scared that offering this low tier level would deter people from buying my bigger prints, since they would have already owned something from me. But it hasn't. It hasn't at all. All of those fears are just not actually a thing. It's one of those things you just make up in your head that's not actually a thing. Okay. Let's see. I'll go through my notes here. What else? Let's see. So also one tip, if you are actually going to do this, the next time I go to get these printed, so I'm going to go around the first of the year and get a whole new batch printed of 1,000. The next time I get these printed, I'm definitely going to get some with blank backs, so that I can write on them as like a thank you card or just whatever I want. So actually, I should probably mention, on the front are prints. On the back, I actually put these, they're basically like bad art jokes kind of a thing. So I put bad art jokes on the back of them. Let's see. I'm trying to find one. Oh yeah. Here's one. I'm just holding one in my hand right now. Like these bad art jokes that are on the back. It's like, there's one that's like, where does a cow hang his paintings? In the museum. That was so funny. I just Googled a bunch of art jokes, and so I put them on the back. I was like, this will be fun. I don't know how like fine art that is, but whatever. It's a $7 a month print club. Like, how fine art can you get? So I put those on the back of the prints, and then the next time I will get some with blank backs to put on them. So yeah, I also have to figure out new art jokes, because I've used up all my good ones. So for next year, if you have any good art jokes, please let me know. And these art jokes, when I take them out to like the art fairs, like First Friday Art Walk, a lot of the people I've noticed will look at the print and they'll turn it over, they'll read the joke and they'll laugh and they'll share it with people. People really like it. It's just kind of like I don't know, it's just kind of an extra added on thing that I've noticed in person people really like. So yeah, just do whatever you want with it. You don't have to put a joke on the back, just whatever's you. You do that. You make it special to yourself. Okay. Again, if you want to watch this video tutorial that I put together all about how to make art prints, just click the link here and in the description or in the notes, and you will find that. I show you exactly what my prints look like. I'll show you the joke on the back and everything so that you can see if this is something you might want to do. It is, me talking about stuffing envelopes and printing labels, it is kind of a lot, but once you do it for the first couple times, you've got a system down. It's no big deal to me now, you know? And with residual income, I am not afraid to do the hard thing, to try to figure stuff out on my own in hopes of profits later on. So I highly encourage you to do this. Even just me showing you how to do this, I highly encourage it. It gets a lot easier. Okay, so that's the main thing I wanted to talk about today. I love how my prints are doing, and it's just a really good way to get residual income in your business that no one can really say no to, you know? Okay, so I wanted to talk about other ways that you can set up residual income in your art business on this little last part. And the first one is how to license your art. Now, I have very little experience with this since I really... I haven't dove into this, so I don't want to talk in depth about this. Just because I don't know a whole lot about it, but I wanted to bring it up. I couldn't talk about residual income without talking about licensing your art. Someone who really knows a lot about this subject is Maria Brophy, and if you don't know who that is, I highly suggest you go to mariabrophy.com. It's a Maria, Brophy. And she is the queen of art licensing with her book, Art, Money, Success. I listened to that twice. It was so good. She knows her shit. I'm just telling you. And I will link to that in our notes as well. There's so many links in this one, so you're just going to have to kind of navigate. But mariabrophy.com. Licensing is basically, I'll try to explain it to you really quickly. It's basically where you create an image one time. You might work with a company to do this, or someone might commission you to create something unique for them to then print. There's that word again, print. Print it on things like t-shirts or mugs or what have you. But you set up a licensing contract that pays you for each time your art is printed on said item. So if they sell 1,000 t-shirts, and you get paid $1 every time one of those t-shirts with your art design sells, you get $1,000. And so oftentimes people will not take a whole lot of money up front when doing art licensing projects, and they'll work it into their contract that they get paid every time, you know, something sells. So like a mug or actually just recently Jenna Rainey, she's big into art licensing, and she creates beautiful images for Staples, and I think it was Target or something. Yeah, Staples. And she does mostly stationery, so she creates beautiful stationery, and that's an art licensing contract with that. So again, one of those not trading time for dollars. One of those deals, if you get one of those, it can just be infinite. You just have to figure out exactly how to do it, which I'm not super experienced, but I wanted to bring it up just so that you could go find more information on it with Maria or with Jenna Rainey. Okay, another residual income source is creating a book. So I'm just going to skim over this topic because as someone who is currently writing a how to paint book, I can almost guarantee that I will almost never make back the hours I have spent creating this dang book. Not at the rate that I charge for murals anyway. So don't do that to yourself unless you have an uncontrollable urge to create a book. It is so much work for not a whole lot of payoff. As I'm learning, you have to sell a lot of books to make up for the hours it will take you to make it. And I went into this process so completely naive, but I'm finishing it, and it will be out on Amazon or something here pretty quickly. I made it this far in this how to paint book, and now I'm about to put it out there, and I really just want to call it done. Yeah, it's a how to paint book. Basically, it shows you how to paint animals in acrylic, exactly what I do. And it's coming together slowly but surely. But that is another example of residual income. Anything that has that stamp on it, I'm like, yeah, maybe I could do this or do that. And I'm going to do it, dang it. But that's one example that I don't highly encourage if you're really, really looking just to make money. If that's like your main focus. Do it if your heart is calling you to write a book. But yeah, okay. So yeah, those are just a couple ideas around the residual income thing. Mainly, obviously, I just talked about my $7 a month print club. And I just want to circle back around to the idea that residual income doesn't mean you're not working. It just means you're not trading time for dollars. I know I've said that a million times through this thing, but I just want to, circle back around with the idea that you're not going to find something that you have to put no work into and you're going to make money from it. People are out there trying to do that already. People smarter than us, and they probably have not figured it out either. So it's going to take you working really smart and working hard for a while, especially in the beginning, to get some higher payoff later on. So as long as you're ready and willing to put in the time and energy and thought into something, like one of these that I've mentioned, it can pay off later on and free up some of your time. Not all of your time, but some of your time. More than it is working for $10 an hour somewhere doing something. Whatever, what have you. But yeah, just work smarter, not harder. That's what this residual income episode is all about. If you think of something that is residual income based and you want to share it in our Artist Academy group on Facebook or the advanced group. It's just Facebook/groups/Artist Academy. Or if you're one of my students, share it in our exclusive Artist Academy advanced group. I would love to hear about it. I'm always open to new ideas for residual income, obviously, but I need to take some stuff off my plate, really. Yeah, as of lately, I need to just finish this book, get it out, and be done. So yeah, okay. Well, I hope that this sparks an interest and a motivation inside of you, and you go out and try to think smarter, I hope you go out and think smarter, not harder, and try to build your art business even further than it is. And if you have any questions or comments or anything, please just message me on Instagram. I respond to literally everything, so just send me a message on Instagram. Also, if you like this podcast and want to give it a review, go to Apple Podcasts, go down to the bottom, give us a whatever star review, preferably 5. I'm just going to throw that out there, and write a little something about it. And then if you screenshot that review and send it to me in email or Instagram, I will shout you out on my Instagram of over 50,000 followers on my story as a thank you. So help me help you. I want to grow this podcast. I want to just destroy the image of a starving artist, and I want to help so many artists just make a living doing this, because it is the best career in the world. I think we just need a little bit of guidance, and that's what I want to do with this podcast, is just guide you guys towards the path to just being full-time in this amazing art career. And with a review, that can help a lot. It helps get the word out. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you next week. Bye. This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time art business. I've been a professional artist for over 5 years, with paintings in several different countries and a client list that includes high-profile companies such as Bass Pro, O'Reilly's, Duck Commander, and many, many more. So I figured out what it takes to build an art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. Go to advancedmember.com. That's advancedmember.com to learn more. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Also, if you ever want to join us live and have your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just hop on over to facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'll see you next week.